Marin Kitagawa might just be the best waifu of 2022. Surprising? No, I don't think so. I just finished Cloverworks' My Dress Up Darling, and I gotta say, this show did not surprise me, and I mean that in a good way. That was actually a compliment. The story has a simple message at the beginning. Do what makes you happy and don't be ashamed. Whether that be working with Hina dolls or cosplay, the story becomes a romance rather quickly and does a great job of having romantic progressions with each passing cosplay. When the show decides to drop a joke, it doesn't feel forced and you laugh. The same can be said for any happy and sad moments. It does an amazing job of keeping you fully invested from start to finish. My Dress Up Darling delivers both of its primary protagonists in a way that gives each other an equal amount of importance and validity. This isn't a story of an isolated Gojo being rescued by the fun-loving, outgoing Marin. Rather, both characters are made better by each other. While Marin helps Gojo discover elements of the world around him that he would never experience being holed up in his room and doing his thing with Hina dolls, Gojo also introduces Marin to new things as well. She learns from his earnestness and being focused at all times, especially when it comes to Hina dolls. He's so passionate about them, and you can see how these dolls that were crafted by his grandpa really shaped his life and why he wants to follow his grandpa's footsteps. But while the show treats both as true equals, its greatest achievement is how it develops Gojo. Never once does the show have Gojo look back at how he spends his days before Marin and regrets them. There is no bemoaning days wasted toiling at his craft when he could have been having adventures. He still loves the dolls, he puts so much effort into them, and there is no regret. Right now he shares his time with Marin and help her construct a cosplay. My Dress Up Darling brings the duo closer together. They go on a series of grounded slice of lifestyle adventures. As the duo learn the ins and outs of cosplaying together, the pair managed to deliver an unending stream of playful moments that warm the hearts and tickle the funny bone. The duo grows together in a way that it's nothing short of a beautiful love story. As their feelings start to surface, the show manages to handle the budding romance with a wonderful pace that allows the viewers to relish the growth of the couple while not leaving them feeling frustrated with how far the story takes the pair through the season. And you have Marin Kitagawa. Marin is beautiful and her facial expression truly bring the show to life. I mean, look at that. My god, look at that. Oh my god, I think I'm gonna die. Just how excited she gets over her passion of cosplay not only gives the viewer a connection because it's cosplay, but makes you fully invest in her character because you actually understand and relate to her. She's one of the prettiest popular girls in her school. Not only that, but her character traits just lets you invest on her whether you're an introvert or extrovert. Her aura just lets you feel so welcome. She's also friendly and is open to all her classmates. And she's especially passionate with her love and craft for cosplaying both anime and video game characters she loves, which is for sure any otaku person can relate themselves into that. And those characters, well, happen to be lewd and horny erotic characters that some might display it or see this show as a harem anime, but I'm telling you right now, it ain't harem for damn sure. I mean, sure, it has lewd moments here and there, but those moments don't change the identity of the series. At the end of the day, Marin will still and always be that precious, outgoing, affectionate, affable beauty in every man and woman's hearts. Everyone needs a Marin in their life. Someone who will tell you not to be ashamed of the person you are and embrace who you are and let your passion be out there for the entire world to understand why you love what you do. Marin just has a positive impact to anybody she meets, especially Gojo, who has social anxiety about himself and his passion for Hina dolls. A man with that amount of struggles and problems he goes through definitely needs a woman like Marin, who will break down your fourth wall and let you experience the outside world and see the things of beauty and wonders of being out there with real people instead of non-real life people like Hina dolls. And as someone who goes through social anxiety, I can understand why Gojo has a hard time trying to be out there with real people and trying to make friends. As much of a simple thing that sounds, when you have social anxiety, it ain't easy to go out there and just start a conversation with someone because our thoughts sometimes tend to get the best of us. You overthink about things you say to a person without even saying it. You hesitate to approach anyone because your initial thoughts would tell you to go the other way and ignore them, or you will be made fun of because of your interests and hobbies. And I have friends who are supportive, and some are even into my hobbies as well. But there are some who I can tell that I am boring them to death whenever I talk about my hobbies. I barely share it with my parents, mostly because they're not shy in finding my passion for something I love amusing, and often chuckle at me whenever I get super excited about my hobbies and tell them about it. It can be really disheartening. You may not have noticed, but Gojo is clearly a self-insert type of character. I say may not have noticed because the show does a really great job of making it subtle, which goes a long way in today's anime age because so many self-insert characters are extremely obvious and only fulfill power trips and harem romance. And with Gojo avoiding the self-insert protagonist syndrome, it means that when Marin finally admits she's falling for him, the entire audience, and including myself, has already fallen in love with Gojo. And if I'm being honest, we need more in-depth male protagonists for our best girls out there. It's the difference between, yeah, I'm rooting for the both of them to just have a great time together, and the usual, alright, now choose your best girl already, you shallow dummy.
Give me a good old rub. Yeah, boy, out, man.
Gojo might have been introduced as the lonely, strange kid in the corner, but in this case, he isn't all that strange, and the character beneath is actually a well-fleshed out, believable, written human being who just happened to be traumatized by an unfairly harsh rejection in his earlier childhood. Then there comes Marin, and without really forcing or even knowing, she just broke some barriers in Gojo that unconsciously helps him break out of his narrow view of his imaginary unworthiness. It's all so natural in comparison to other rom-coms where the protagonist often gets forced out of their shell instead of letting them grow in company, but on themselves in a natural way. Now look, I'm not saying that being forced out of your comfort zone is entirely a bad thing, because sometimes we need that someone to give us introverts that bit of a push to get us to start conversing with others. But there are some introverts out there that just need more time to get comfortable without pressuring them too much to step out of their comfort zone. Social anxiety takes time to get through it. You can't just tell an introvert to not be shy or just be open about yourself. Some people just start out shy and that goes away with practice. So it's very important to realize that introverts are going to stay that way, especially with the young introverts who are just minority subsets of others who need help blooming into who they really are. And that's exactly what Marin does for Gojo. Sometimes you don't need to push someone out of their comfort zone. If they know they can do it themselves, all they need is to have someone's comfort and let them know that whatever they're doing, which in this case for Gojo, his passion for Hina dolls and being able to create amazing cosplay outfits. Marin acknowledges Gojo for all his hard work and praises him for every achievement that he does. And in return, Gojo fulfills his promise to Marin, and all he ever wanted was to make Marin really happy, because Gojo has no experience talking to other people than his own grandpa. So making a cosplay for Marin to him means everything to him, because he never had that deep of a relationship with anyone. So to him, this is a very big deal for him, to the point that he would lose sleep and time for his Hina dolls, just to make Marin's dream cosplay, because he knows how much cosplay in general means so much to her. And he wants to keep that promise because for once in his life, someone acknowledged his talents and hobbies. And you can tell that once Marin sparked interest in Gojo's hobby, all he can think of is, I gotta fulfill her promise. And he always puts others first before himself. And as an introvert, I tend to do that a lot as well. And the fact that he somehow breaks through his shyness in incredibly stressful situations, something most shy introverts wouldn't be able to do. He's able to calm himself and get through it. The fact that he doesn't fall over his own feet in those situations is how he's able to make good and show his true good nature to Marin. You can clearly see him becoming stronger over time already, getting less flustered being around pretty women. I mean, she desensitized him immediately with that little bikini measuring bit. It was a pretty brilliant scene, and he manned the fuck up. I'm not gonna lie, I gotta give him credit for that. And that's all it takes sometimes. Putting yourself in those situations so it becomes easier, and it will. Now you see him carry on conversations with Marin and the others without any problems. And like I said, it really does take time for an introvert to really open up to the world. But once you meet someone who will open up the world for you, it's just the best feeling life in general can give you. Once Marin gave Gojo a world that he never thought he'd get to have, it makes Gojo really emotional. And when Marin noticed that Gojo crafted her first cosplay in a span of only 2 weeks, she realizes that she put Gojo in so much stress, but for Gojo, all he ever wanted was to make Marin smile because she made him smile. The both of them just bring out the best in each other, and that's the sign of a couple that belongs to each other. Not because the narrative of the show dictates it, but because you feel it within them that they deserve to be together. And not only beautiful Marin is, but you feel the bond with her that takes the show into new heights. Is Marin on par with one of the best waifus of all time? Alongside Mai Sakuranjiwa from Bunny Girl, Rem from ReZero, Asuka from Evangelion, Chizuru from Rent-a-Girlfriend, and Senju Kohara from the Monogatari series? In my opinion, yeah, she deserves to be there. But not because of the reasons you may think, but because she has the most positive impact that could bring out the best of someone and let them realize that their talents and hobbies are something that you should be proud of. And that's also the same said about Marin herself. She's really passionate and shows her love and dedication to her craft as a cosplayer without feeling ashamed. She encourages us to be ourselves because no one can do it better than ourselves. And as much of a cliche that sounds, we really do have our own uniqueness in life. It's just that sometimes the bad parts of life tend to pile up as much as the good ones. So sometimes you just have to get through those tough tribulations in order to get to the goal you want. And once you reach that goal, you'll be happy and thankful that you never stopped reaching for the stars. And you'll also realize that everything was worth it. She was worth it.